Hey everybody, this is TreasFlowers with My Game Concierge. Thanks for tuning in this evening as we're going to have a good time, I hope. And hopefully everybody is enjoying Friday night and getting ready for a wonderful night out. But before you go out, as we like to say at MGC, hopefully you're here to get your game on for a few minutes. For about an hour and 20 minutes to be exact. So sit back and relax as we try to play a little bit of MLB The Show. We're going to wait about another 10 to 15 seconds here as some of our streaming services are not yet online. You can always check us out on Mixer, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And so we're just waiting a couple seconds here until all the services are online. I think a couple of them are, and they're coming on slowly. So give us a couple seconds here as we get ready to play MLB The Show, one of my favorite games and one of a game that's highly recommended at My Game Concierge. It is definitely a fun time. So hopefully you own this in your library of games, particularly if you're a PlayStation owner, because it's only available on PlayStation. I have no idea why, but good for Sony to lock this up as an exclusive. But I imagine that MLB can make a ton more money if they would license this out to Microsoft and Nintendo as well. But right now it's still only on PlayStation. So hopefully that will change in the future, but right now it is only on PS4, so that's okay, as we at MGC have all consoles available. So we are going to be playing tonight. I'm actually going to be playing one of my franchise games. I'm going to be actually going and playing the Kansas City Royals at the Red Sox. Red Sox are clearly the world champs and one of my favorite teams. So should be a good game tonight. Should be a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll talk a little bit of sports, a lot of baseball news lately, and also some upcoming games in 2019 that hopefully are on your radar. And if they're not on your radar, we hope to put them on your radar tonight. So sit back, relax, and hopefully as we get ready to show, again, let's give us about another 10 seconds here of quiets, and we're going to just double check all of our streams, and then we're going to get started. Thanks so much.
The Astros in Houston, 7-3. The Indians combined to give up just 5 hits as they were winners over the visiting Rangers, 2-1. The Philadelphia Phillies smacked 15.
Alrighty, it seems that we are live on all of our platforms right now, and again, thank you all for joining, subscribing, and following. If you like what you see, go ahead and click that follow button or subscribe button or like button. It means a lot. And thank all of those who joined yesterday. We had a good time yesterday playing Flight Simulator. It was a longer stream than expected, but still good times, a lot of fun. But anyway, tonight we're going to all be about baseball. And so if you never played MLB The Show, it is probably the most realistic baseball game, at least in my opinion, out there on the market. Very fun, very intuitive, and really true to form. The problem is, as with any baseball, with any baseball game, it's hard to go the whole season playing over 150 odd games. So just get that out of your mind that you're ever going to finish a franchise season. But the good news is that it does carry over, I think, for about a year or so. So for example, the 2018 franchise will carry over to the 2019 game if you have not finished it. So that's a lot of fun. But most people like to play with the updated rosters. So that being said, it's just don't get used to finishing the franchise, because unless you have a lot of time on your hands, it is definitely a challenge to finish all those games. Looking at if you're in franchise modes, I don't play Ultimate that much because as I stated a few weeks ago when I did a Madden stream, that I'm a pure player. I like to have the active rosters. I don't like to have old timers with new timers, so to speak. So as a result, I like to stick with franchise mode because it's going to give you the updated rosters at all given points in time. There's sponsorships you can have here in MLB The Show, and those are based upon the cards you get. So as you see, I've equipped a couple cards based on the strength of my team, which is the active replay sponsors, Franklin. So I get 20,000 points per win. I get another 3,500 per run. My news ticker sponsor is Louisville Slugger. And my batter walkout sponsor was Varo. So it's a lot of fun, and if you look down below, I have a ton of sponsorships that you can fill in. But these are all based on your team play. But it adds an element of authenticity to the game, and so I really do like the fact they do that. What I like to do before I start a game is go immediately into training. The last game I actually lost against the Royals, so I like to go in and make sure that the computer knows that I'm committed to training. And so if you skip this step, you will notice a little bit of down performance in your player. So you really have to go in and focus on training. Like put Mookie Betts. I'm going to put him on. He's on fire right now. So he's doing fine batting games. Maybe I'll put him in fielding drills right now. Kimbrel's doing well. Price, Martinez, batting cages, but obviously he's my designated hitter. Zandy, same thing. Probably keep him in the cages. Benintendi's on auto, which is cool because the computer the console will allow you to do auto and just automatically change these things. But it's better to go in and do them yourself if you want immediate results. And I kind of think that it always adds again another level of authenticity to the game. I don't go into all my players. I usually just focus on my MLB players. I mean, obviously, if you're in the franchise, you have your farm teams, which is kind of fun. So you can, designate training for those particular players. But again, that takes a tremendous amount of time. Bradley here, I want to go ahead and put him in batting cages as well. So you have to be very careful because if you put all your players on the batting cages, then your fielding for that game will absolutely be horrible. So you have to kind of mix it up. And the computer does a good job making sure. Like for example, this guy needs probably a hitting coach session because he's cold. The computer does a good job. The console, I keep saying computer, but computer console, we're just going to use them synonymously for the purposes of this, for this stream, that they does a really good job making sure that those of you who don't know a lot about baseball, if you do auto, you'll be fine. So that's it. You just go out and you kind of make sure that everyone's getting a little bit training. And usually at this point, I would go in and actually go back and save, because sometimes if you don't get to finish a game, it's always better if you got to the point and designated your training. I would always go back and just save it quickly just to make sure that the settings are right. Perfect. So that seems like that has that saved for us. So now let's look at there. You see my league leaders. Of course, Chris Sale in pitching, JD Martinez and on the bat. And then we get right in here. Now, my roster's not quite up to date because you see that little exclamation point by roster. That's just letting me know one of my rosters is out of alignment. That's just because there's been some up and down on my farm teams and the Sea Dogs and others. So it's just telling me that player was called up to, right there to Sea Dogs. So it'll fix all these updates. And generally speaking, you can have the console or the game manage your entire farm team. Sometimes I get involved in it, particularly if I want to start scouting players. But there are a lot of YouTube videos out there that talk about scouting and training. Let me show you where it's located. Scouting. This whole system right here, you can assign different scouts to different regions. Again, they updated this mechanic this year, which is a major improvement over last year's version. So really do that. Scouting players is amazing. It does help you in future years if you ever get past the future, your first year in a franchise mode. But you can also, remember in MLB, you can also sim half the season or, sim a multiple group of games if you want to just get to the end. But I'm kind of a pure play player, so I'm still stuck. I think I played about, this will be my 30th game. So we're just going to go ahead and get right to it. They say each game is about 45 minutes. I find it a little not quite accurate. It's more closer towards an hour, just to be frank with you. So I think maybe if you just, didn't take any breaks at all, didn't enjoy the game, you could probably cut through it in 45 minutes. But really, an hour is about the amount of time that you want to allocate to this game. So let's see here. We are obviously going to play the Red Sox. Should be at Fenway. Presentation mode. This is just kind of you can kind of do broadcast or hybrid. Hybrid is this is not kind of a top game because obviously the Royals are in 5th place. So then you go look at picking pitchers. Of course, it's telling me that Porcello is cold. I could just skip him and do a little bit of Chris Sale, have a little fun, but that would put me out of rotation. And then you can see here I could flip flop, but I'll go ahead and do Rick tonight because obviously you still want to get that person out of the cold status because that's how you really get your team in really good shape. So we'll go ahead and do Rick. May lose the game because of that decision, but that being said, rotation is important, and that's, you know, it's baseball. So as you can see here, I've been playing my players a lot and not really resting them as much. So while a lot of those, you see that fire emblem means, as you can imagine, they're on fire and they're doing well, and the cold symbol means they're doing not so well. But you can see I have a lot of players on fire in my lineup, but those same players haven't had a lot of rest. So I've got to make sure that I allocate time to rest. So what I'll do is Mookie Betts, clearly his energy is pretty low, so the game is going to make me probably rest him anyway if it gets to be that the bar's that low. So I'm going to take Mookie out and sub him out for, let's see, who do I have? Outfield, Chris Young. And you can see Chris Young's stats right there. It's extreme pull hitter. You can see it's cold mainly against righties. He's okay against lefties. Let's do, I think I'm going to just put Chris Young in. Nunez is cold as well, but Nunez can play a variety of positions here, so I can actually sub him out for second base or for Bogart's shortstop. So probably don't want to. I probably would just sub Pedroia. I'd probably put him in for Pedroia this game, just see what's going on. Now, once you get the players you want, which is a blend of hot and cold, usually you don't see this many symbols next to the players. If you look over at the Royals, excuse me, I got football on my mind obviously for tomorrow and Sunday. If you look over at the Royals lineup, you could notice that they basically, you see there's not a ton of icons. I mean, there's still some, but not a whole bunch. But anyway, we select our lineup. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and I want Benintendi probably to go before Martinez. They both have great batting averages. Bogarts can stay there. Maybe drop Martinez to the 4-hole. Let me see here. Not really. I mean, Jackie's going hot. Maybe I put Jackie in 3. So it gives me Bogarts, Benintendi, Bradley, Martinez, and then kind of keeps these kind of cold players. Moreland's actually better at this point. Just kind of streak them down. That means that it's not the greatest point. Maybe I'll change my catcher out and see if I can get somebody who's got a fighting chance. Maybe put Leon in. That's right. There we go. So you can see kind of the bottom of the order struggling. Different strategies, different players, different managers have different strategies, as you know, whether or not to kind of balance out the order, to kind of focus on the top of the order. But still leads good. So as you can see, I'm 2 games behind the Yankees, which as any Red Sox fan would attest to, is never want to be behind the Yankees under any condition. But I love the fact that really the game does kind of show you some good statistics before you go in, kind of comparing the averages of the batters. And so right now the startup sequence, in case any of you all have not seen the show, I'll let that play just for a second. I know a lot of people just like to jump right into it. But part of the fun of streaming is that you get to actually test games out and see what they're about. So while the players are coming on the field, I can tell you that we are drinking a little Graham's Port 10 tonight. That's our drink of choice. We are enjoying if you don't have a port, we call it a great pre-game drink, not just for baseball, but pre-game tonight when you're going out and having a good time. A lot of people do ports with cigars, but, you know, ports of games are very good as well. So don't sleep on port. All right, so you see we're getting ready to start our batting. And just before we start, just kind of show you some of the options that we have here. Kind of gives you the wind direction, which means the wind's going 7 miles per hour. It looks like it's facing the plate, so probably the fastball will be pretty good tonight. Probably we'll have to keep that going. Looking at the lineup, you can see that the Royals pretty much put their key guys at the top of the order. Well, there's a couple. Their left fielder is pretty good. He's down at the bottom of the order. But just kind of want to look at that just to see kind of your strategy and kind of what your pitcher has to do, particularly if you have a cold pitcher. And in baseball, like any other sports, it's more so than any other sport, it is really all about strategy. So always remember to take a look around, and obviously you could do subs and stuff. We'll get to all that stuff later, but really want to make sure you kind of get an idea of what that lineup's about before we get going. So let's get rocking and rolling. It is Friday night, so some of you have to go out tonight, so we want to make sure we keep this stream on target tonight, since yesterday we went over a little bit. Right there, hits right to looks like Nunez, and so for the first out. So a lot of baseball news, and we'll get to that today. A ton of baseball news, particularly in the AL East, where the Yankees and the Red Sox play. It's really a ton of news. We'll get to, of course, where Bryce Harper's going to go. So we'll just get this started just a little bit. He's not going to get there in time. Oh, he did. Nice. And what I love about the show is the gameplay is so smooth. Like, just like you saw that play, like, it's just easy. Like, many games don't default to the right person. You're always switching to make sure you get to the right person on the ice or on the field. So I'm thinking about NHL hockey. I have that problem sometimes where the puck comes by and it's not giving you necessarily the best player. It gives you, it's always says, well, we're giving you the closest player to the puck, but you may not want to command that player. I find in MLB The Show they do a really amazing job getting that, getting the right person. So that's one of the good things. I'm going to kind of paint the edges with Rick. See, that's, come on. Yeah. Rick did not get to the first base bag fast enough, so that's why that happened. But that should have been an out. And if you look at the top, you'll see, I'm going to just pause for a second. I can't. It said Hall of Fame, and you'll see that. So the more you play, it's going to advance you different levels. So you get 2 ratings, one for batting and one for fielding. And fielding, I'm at Hall of Fame level, and it's not going to take it. The other one is for batting, which I think I'm an all-star. Those ratings matter because the game is constantly adjusting. So just because, did I catch that? Get out of here. The game is always constantly adjusting. So you don't have to worry about if you get a low level. You're just going to work your way up and adjust you as you go along. So we get ready to get into the bottom half of the inning, and the Sox are getting ready to get up to bat.
Hey, you can only win your first big league game once, and in his last start, he did just that. I'm sure that ball is put away someplace.
So I think we can get ready to do this. I think Zandy is up. Now batting is really not. It takes time, right? So that's one I should have just let go. But so even though it looks like it's simple, it's like it's a combination of factors that go into batting. So it's a combination of the player's average, your timing on the hit, where it goes. So the cool thing about the game is it's doing a combination of things to determine kind of the probability of where you're hitting, if you're going to hit, and how fast the hit's going to go. So while you do have some control, like the location of like what you're doing right now, a lot of that is also based upon the statistics. And some people complain about that and say, well, that's not right because that means, you're always kind of tied to the numbers of the batter. But I think it actually works out well. I mean, otherwise, if you just made it kind of a pure hit mechanic and the person just is a good hitter, then you're going to get unrealistic scores like 20-0. So I think MLB does a really good job of just kind of making sure that it kind of lines up, and as a result, you get more realistic scores, I believe, versus if they just made it some sort of mechanic where go up and hit the ball, and if you hit it, great, you don't only get 20-0 scores. So, it's a great pitch. That really gonna give him a replay on that one. That was a that was a really good pitch. Let's see. So Benintendi Oh, that's a crap hit. Crap. Oh, thought he might have put over it. Might have overthrew the ball, but he didn't. So another strategy that I'm not doing too well tonight is that you want to really wear down the pitcher in MLB The Show. So I will probably try with Jackie, even though I know that's coming right down the middle. But really and truly, particularly if it's a good pitcher, you don't want to be swinging at the first pitch all the time unless you know it's going to be a strike or whatever. Because as a result, you know, you're going to have to replace your pitcher earlier, and they're going to have their starter out there a lot longer. There's good. Ah! Oh! Come on, come on, come on. That's it. So perfect. So that's a good hit as Jackie's hot and he's on a hitting streak here in this particular in my franchise. And now we have the JD Martinez coming up. So those of you who played the games in prior years know that Big Papi was, you know, David Ortiz was almost whenever he walked up to the plate, there's probably like a 1 in 3 chance you're going to hit a homer. I think they've scaled this down a little bit, but though JD, in my mind, just as good. Obviously, doesn't have the longevity as Big Papi, but they did a good job of, you know, kind of correcting that problem. So look at that wide swing. So as a result, you know, it's not clear. I mean, even JD will get into kind of slumps in this particular game. I'm not going to steal because let's see what he's doing. Oh, come on. Now you can take a break in this game and call for a little. Sometimes I do it like if I'm in an 0-2 count, just to get in, just to keep the pitcher honest out there, get him kind of icing the pitcher, so to speak. Oh, come on. I've been falling for that same pitch last few weeks. So, still, but hopefully you guys, it's a good game. So, as we go into the second inning, we'll talk a little bit about baseball and kind of figure out what's going on. I mean, the big news today is LeMahieu signed with the Yankees for a 2-year deal for $24 million. That's news for those of you who are casual baseball observers because LeMahieu, most people thought that the Yankees were going to sign Machado, not LeMahieu. I mean, though there was talk that they would maybe even sign both. Machado definitely wanted to go to the Yankees, and as a Red Sox fans, we're not fans of Manny Machado, but if you're a fan of the sport, you know he's a solid player. But I think his asking price, which I don't know what his asking price currently is or what it was when he went and negotiated with the Yankees, but all indications were that he wanted to be a Yankee. I'm not sure that they wanted him to be there, but you gotta. I mean, even as a great player, and I don't think he's a problem in the clubhouse or the bullpen. I think he's I'm sorry, in the dugout, excuse me, not the bullpen. I think the problem that Manny has right now is just the fact that the Yankees are stacked. Torres, Sereno, you have Didi Gregorius. I mean, you have a bunch of stars on that team, and it's going to be very difficult to see where Manny would have fit in. I mean, you can say the same thing about LeMahieu. But, you know, Tulowitzki, I mean, you have just a Judge, of course. But you have just crazy power hitters on that team that, while they didn't make it all the way, as you know, because the Red Sox shut that down, you got to think that clearly the Yankees are going to be in the mix this year. And then, of course, the Yankees also signed Zach Britton, not to be a closer, from what I understand, but to do the bullpen. So, really, good stuff for the Yankees. And the Sox, on the other hand, had some signings of their own recently. A lot of signings, a lot of one-year deals, which has to be a little bit concerned. They signed Betts, Bogarts, and Bradley, all one-year deals, and gave them all raises. This is what. Now, for those of you who haven't played the game, you essentially, there's a baseball that shows up where the game is anticipating the ball will land, and you basically have to get to that baseball. And the cool thing about the game is that it automatically will catch it for you once you get inside there. Now, that makes it seem like it's easy, but it's actually not. You still have to get to the area of the field that the baseball is actually coming down. So that's not as hard. That's not as easy as it looks. Excuse me. So that's how you do fielding in this game. Of course, you can dive. You can do some other fun stuff. I think Porcello here still looking for my first strikeout tonight. 1-2 count. See if I can get him to bite. And there it is. There it is right there. So he was looking to take a big swing. Good stuff. First strikeout of the game for me, but not the hopefully not the last. So back to the Sox. So the Sox had 1-year deals. I'm trying to recall the values. I think Betts got a $20 million contract. Bogarts got a $12 million 1-year deal. And Jackie Bradley got an $8 million deal. And I think they also signed Stephen Wright, the knuckleball pitcher. I think he got like a $1.4 million 1-year deal. Now, why is this important? Well, one, you have all these players on 1-year deals, and I'm sure the Red Sox are thinking, like, you got the title, and everybody knows in baseball, once you get the title, oh, it's a nice hit. Is it going to get to the wall? Moreland's so slow. Yeah. Great hit. Once you sign all these players for 1-year deals, it means that you're taking a short-term chance, thinking that your guys can get you back to the World Series or championship game at least next year, which I think they could. The Red Sox obviously the core is still there. Didn't lose anyone major. We'll talk about potentially the loss of Craig Kimbrell, the closer, later, but you kind of take that chance with that. Now, that means at the end of these 1-year deals, what's going to happen? I mean, that's what the big question. I don't know if the Red Sox are going to have it's going to be a double play. No, you got. If the Red Sox are going to go back and try to re-sign these waivers to long-term contracts, I mean, when Mookie Betts comes open, that contract comes up. I mean, it's going to be a huge, huge contract. You can imagine the level of Bryce Harper and Machado. I mean, you're talking about. I mean, Mookie's going to command a lot of money. So, the Red Sox have some very tough decisions to make over the next few years about whether or not. And I think the first of their decisions starts with Craig Kimbrell, the famous closer, who didn't have as good of a year this year. Don't know, why his numbers were down a little bit. I mean, he had some really tight games. Oh my goodness! I love it because now I'm screwed. No 2 count. I can't really steal. Oh, is that in? No. Oh, this guy's really struggling. I could have. No, they wanted me to. See, sometimes it'll be a wild pitch, and they want you to steal, but I didn't have a good jump on that, and it was in front of the catcher, not behind him, so that would have been a short throw. So that's why I didn't steal second. For those of you who are questioning that, that's gonna be crap. Love it because if you look at the park, it looks just like Fenway. Prudential Center's off on the right. And like I said, game moves pretty quickly, so you're not bored at all. You actually can. There's a lot to do. Like I said, I might try to steal now. Oh. Man, that was a nice pitch right there. I mean, I couldn't risk it on a 2-2 count. Didn't want to go down just looking. So other news in baseball, as we said before we get to the games. Where is Manny Machado going to go? I mean, that's a horrible swing. That was where's he going to go? I mean, he didn't get to the Yankees. He didn't. I mean, there's not really an active. I mean, look, he's got a lot of suitors out there. Could be the Cardinals, White Sox. I mean, who knows where he's going to go? But no, I didn't go. No, that's right. So we don't know where he's going to go. I think it's kind of frustrating. I think this is my own 2 cents on this for those of you out there who enjoy the game. I think Bryce Harper goes before Machado, because I think Harper likely. I think a lot of this has to do with strategic planning on salary and seeing how much Harper's worth. And if you kind of remember that these kind of salary issues cropped, there it is, right there out the park. Woo! There is nothing like that on MLB The Show. When you crank one out, Chris Young, not even a great player, he's a pull hitter, just lined up that pitch and just took it right on out of here. A lot of fun in this game. It is a ton of fun. Let's look at this. Let's pitch again. Just takes it right over the monster. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, it's out of the park. Great hit. Great hit. And that's good because that came from the bottom of my order. So that means good shape here. So, but back to Machado, like we were saying. I think the Bryce Harper, who was actually ironically the cover athlete for MLB The Show. I get a good bounce. Is he gonna get it? For MLB The Show 19, Bryce Harper is going to be the cover athlete, but they can't even print the game covers out because Bryce is not signed with a team. So I'm sure the people at MLB and Sony and the developers of the game are likely a little worried, or they probably have kind of superimposed one of the team's uniforms on top of them, and probably going to wait till the last second. Sometimes you can ask the catcher what pitch they're expecting.
These are huge innings for a team's morale. The pitcher wants to go out and throw that shutdown.
I don't like to do it often. Sometimes I like to sometimes I get a little excited after a home or a good inning, so sometimes I want to slow it down and just pitch what the catcher wants me to pitch. So you'll see me sometimes, and this is, it's really your R2 button. See, that's what he would like me to do, a fastball up high. I'll do it for him, just show you all. That was kind of a risky call. Come on, Jackie. Good catch there. But it does help. I don't know if the probability of you getting a strike or not increases or decreases, but at least you know what he's expecting. In the zone, you can see the red areas around the catcher where the pitch is really good. The blue areas are where he's not as good. And of course, it's kind of, I can't explain it. You just kind of have a feel. So the meter on the pitch in MLB The Show it's a little wonky. So you want to obviously go, and that's your velocity. You want to try to hit as close to the yellow line. You click to the velocity, then as it's on the way back down, you want to click as close to the yellow line as possible. That way it's going to go where you want it to go. However, if you can change your mind, which I love about this game. So a curveball, I don't want it to go where I wanted it to, so I'm going to basically hit not too close to the yellow line to adjust the location. So in other words, you could purposely screw up the pitch. That way you can kind of adjust what your placement. So I didn't, that's just a good hit because I put the curveball in the outside corner and he nailed it. So, but generally speaking, if you, like, this guy's all red, so you basically don't want to be throwing any heat down the middle, otherwise he's gonna make you pay for it, like that, like literally that, like that. That was down the middle, little below the belt, but he could have made me pay. So you just want to kind of rub those corners, kind of watch it over. Just keep them honest. You can always throw to first base anytime. I've picked off a couple people, not many. It doesn't. I mean, just like real baseball. You don't really pick off a lot of people doing that. I mean, this guy, if you look on the left side of the screen, it says steal 44, steal 16, speed 44. So he's not going to smoke you up, and like, not like a Hanley Ramirez or someone who's going to like, oh, that was definitely, I thought I had him. So Rick's got 31 pitches. You always want to make sure you're watching your pitch count. Make sure, just like a normal baseball game, you don't want your pitcher getting too many hits, too many pitches. Nice, it's perfect. So got him up high. So I like to play the game like pitch really, really low and then throw a couple of heaters up top to make him swing. It's kind of my strategy. Generally works. I have a pretty good record right there. So you can kind of fake him out and then throw the heat towards the top of the plate and towards the catcher's face mask actually, and you usually get some good traction with that. Nice change up scorker. So it seems like, you know, this is a lot of good pitches here, and it seems like things are going well for Rick on this particular. But it's third inning. I like to want to ride him at least through 6. Energy, confidence levels are right there, which is really good. Sliders working. Ah! All right, 2 outs. Now I could go out to the bullpen right now and kind of settle him down. Not to the bullpen, go to the pitcher's mound. Excuse me. So, but it costs you. You only get so many mound visits. So I'm gonna wait probably one more time before see how he handles this person here before I go out and see. I mean, Merrifield already hit a single in the first time up, so hopefully see what the pitcher wants. So Leon wants something up here. All right. Did not hit the mark there, but at least a 1-1 count. And after this, we can talk about... Ah! That's going to cost me. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Oh, just that fast. Oh, you kidding me? It just goes right. No shot. No shot. I mean, tried to dive and catch that before it went out to the outfield, but all right. So now we will go visit and have a little talking. And again, like I said, you can see his confidence is still high, his energy level is still good. Just trying to break the momentum of the game. It does actually impact the next series. So probably if I didn't do a mound visit, Merrifield would work his way home. So that's what we do. Try to get things. Now the next time I come out, I have to replace him. All right, and of course, we got Hanley, who in this game can crank it out. Let's see here. And let's not gonna get that. Probably want to go right inside. Let's see, without hitting him. Right there. All right. So got out of this inning. Not happy about it. 2-2. But escaped the. I'm back to the top of the order, so escape the damage. So let's talk about a little bit about while we have a few minutes here. Again, hopefully you all enjoy this Graham's Port 10. Find it really good. It's a nice classic drink. Good port. Usually cigars are in order, as I stated earlier, with this port, but you can drink it straight. I like to do a little bit of port, because I have to start my evenings off and then head on off to enjoy Fridays, the weekend. Oh, thought I had a 2-0 count. Thought I could do something. See, Kansas City's in the basement of the AL Central, so not a great team. So I should be I should be spanking up on this team, but instead it's running close, which I don't like. So I can see kind of where his last pitches were if I click my R2 button. Ugh. And then that's what you have to watch out for, because you start, that's what makes this game so good, because you start really reaching, and next thing you know, you're swinging at anything, and then you let easy pitches go. So really got to make sure that you're swinging at good solid pitches, and that's one of the good things about this game. Let's see here. Bring it down the middle. So you can tell their pitcher's getting tired because he's like throwing. That's his energy and confidence, by the way. So he's not getting tired. He's just, oh, come on. Jam me up.
He was in a good hitter's count and ended up chasing one out of the zone.
Maybe I'll take a,
Now the count's even again.
maybe I'll take a break here. Call time. See. Let him think about it for a second.
Here now the 2-2.
Ah.
2-2.
Horrible. So hopefully we'll get a little bit better here.
Here's the first pitch to him. Swinging a ball.
Jackie's up.
But a foul ball here, 0-1. A wind up and the 0-1.
Nice hit. No, just not in the right spot.
Field scoops it up. Throw on to first, gets him, and the side is retired.
All right, so that takes us to the bottom of the top of the fourth. I'm just gonna take a moment here and check the stream, make sure we're all got an error message here. So just give me 1 second and make sure the stream's online here. So I think we should be fine. We're at the end of the beginning of the fourth, so hopefully everything is okay. Just some monitoring issues here, so hopefully, my apologies if you've left comments because I can't really see them at this moment. So if you are leaving any comments, let me know. And sorry again, I apologize. I'll try to get to them as soon as I get back some get a little bit of comment boxes back in order here. But currently, right now, I cannot, unfortunately, see comments in the restream. So, my apologies if you're out there. Oh, nice.
Ready for another chance. Jorge's still there. He flew out.
Look at that play. That's what we're talking about. So let's talk about a little bit on this Friday night. Hopefully you guys are getting ready to go out as we talk about games coming out next year. There are a ton, this year, excuse me, ton of games coming out that we're excited about, that I'm hoping that you all are going to be excited about. Starting with January, and certainly we're going to, at MGC, we're going to be reviewing a lot of these. So if you have a pen handy, you could take some notes, but if not, certainly come back to MGC. We'll be definitely noting these, and in our enhanced website that'll be launched hopefully pretty soon in mid-February. All these will be noted, but the key games coming out, you have Ace Combat 7. I think we discussed this. Ah, walked him. We have Ace Combat 7, which is definitely a good, definitely a supposed to be a high rank game, particularly on PS4 with the virtual reality component. That is supposed to be a really, really top flight game. So this guy on first base has great speed. Doesn't steal a lot, but I have to really watch him. I'm gonna just keep him honest and kind of every now and then throw to second. I think that's going to be one of the top games in January. Resident Evil 2, I think, is coming out this month. And I think, you know, Kingdom Hearts 3 is probably the biggest game that, the biggest blockbuster that is being anticipated for this particular month. And I think it's going to have, like Smash Brothers on Nintendo, it's going to have a ton of people trying to basically buy it, and special editions. I don't know if the special edition comes with Mickey Mouse or Frozen or whatever, but I heard that the special edition of Kingdom Hearts 3 is sold out already on eBay for a gigantic sum of money. So I have no idea what it comes with, but I guess I shouldn't care because I'm not going to get a copy anyway. We'll just have to get the whatever that special edition limited. I think it's a limited edition. I think there's a limited, deluxe, and standard, I believe, of Kingdom Hearts. I could be wrong. I know there's definitely a special edition that was sold out. So that I do know. But it appears to most people that this is going to be a blockbuster hit, and I think the timing's right. I'll be frank with you. There was a ton of game releases, and there we go. It shut down that inning. There was a ton of game releases in November, and I think October, November were huge, obviously in preparation and the run up for the holidays. Then with like dead silent in December, because nobody wanted to be out there in December. I think the only thing that came out in December, I'm fairly certain, blockbuster wise, was Just Cause. But everybody was hooked on Red Dead by then, so I don't think Just Cause, I would be shocked if their numbers were any good. I'm still playing it, still mixed on it, but not a bad game. We'll probably play it next. Oh, nice hit. Nice hit. Right in the gap. Right in the gap. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. He's so slow. So other than that, Just Cause, there was really nothing. So we've been all in kind of a lull. A gaming lull, because again, we have enough to chew on. You've had, like I said, Just Cause, Battlefield 5, Call of Duty, Red Dead. All of them are all kind of out at the same time, and Super Smash, of course, all within the same time period. So that's been a lot for people to chew on, and we're about to get into what I call the first quarter deluge of games. When a ton. There he goes. That's gone. That is gone. That Mitch Moreland just cranked that out of there? That is gone. Can't throw that down the middle like that. I will get it every time. So, great. And hopefully you guys can hear some of the sounds. It's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling when you crank one out. It is... the graphics are just stunning. I can only imagine what this game is going to look like on PS5. But that being said, so the deluge of games are going to be coming out starting in February. So let's say you got Resident Evil, Kingdom Hearts, and Ace Combat 7 this month. Then you go into Anthem and Metro Exodus. Now, why they decide to release those games near each other, I don't know. Makes no sense. But those games are coming out, and as well as Crackdown 3 in mid-February. So you're going to have Anthem, Metro Exodus released on the same day, tentatively February 15th, and February 22nd, 222, easy one to remember. I think they did that on purpose. And then you have Crackdown 3 coming out on February 15th as well. So you got those 3 games coming in in a middle, really early, well, let's just say mid-February. And then now you're talking about the March hit, which I think is ridiculous, with Devil May Cry on March 8th. Sorry, let me hit this. Look at this. This is just, that didn't drop for me. Devil May Cry, March 8th. Division 2, March 15th. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, March 22nd. And MLB The Show, March 26th. So essentially from February 22nd to March 26th, you have roughly, there it is, right there. That's a great hit. That's a great hit. Oh, took him right to the wall too. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Throw in 7 if you want to go back 1 week and count Crackdown 3. You have 7 games that are coming out within that few week window, like 4 or 5 week window. And you ask yourself, why do they do it like that? I mean, you got to think that, you know, certainly some of it is strategy, and they don't want the other one making all the money. But it's kind of like the movies, right? You know, the movies, I don't care what anybody says, they kind of coops together a little bit. And I know they shouldn't, but the first thing, if they find out that a blockbuster's coming out from the other studio, what's the first thing they do? They move their blockbuster. Like, they know there's not enough demand to support 2 blockbusters now in movie theaters. So they shift like a couple weeks or a month or 2 to make sure that, you know, they leave adequate room, because a person's not going to go to the movies twice on a weekend. Most people don't. They're going to pick one, and then unlikely they're going to get the other one. And since movies don't stay in theaters as long, you know, why take that risk? Same thing with games. Since games aren't going to be, I mean, they'll be out for a while, but why take that risk on games and have them all come out at the same time? I think it doesn't make sense. I think the economics of the transaction, I'm still trying to figure out, like, well, what are they saying? You know, it's the same reason why Battlefield 5 or any of the Battlefields in any of the Call of Duties always seem to come out around the same time. That makes no sense. I don't care what you're saying and what position you take. It makes absolutely no sense. There's no reason why those 2 games should ever be even remotely near each other. But every